Now, New Zealand's conservation efforts are back in the spotlight. Scientists from around the world have arrived here for the International Congress of Conservation Biology. They're focused mainly on the global situation, but what's happening here, of course, doesn't go unnoticed either. Joining me now is Paul Beier, the President of the Society for Conservation Biology. Good morning, Paul. Thank you for coming in.
Morning, Rachel.
Our Department of Conservation is cutting around 96 jobs. It's restructuring, it says. I understand about 100 scientists have signed a letter since you've been here. What's that involved?
So people are very upset. The DOC has been known as a worldwide leader in crisis management of endangered species. So they're doing a lot of very innovative things that aren't happening elsewhere. New Zealand is sort of tied with Hawaii in terms of places where we have a high fraction of native species at risk. Unlike most of the world, the problem here is invasive species. So DOC has been doing a fabulous job of finding islands and even fencing some mainland areas, eradicating all of the rats and mammals that are not native and reintroducing bird species. So you have some wonderful opportunities here. I just visited myself the Tiritiri Matangi Island just north of town here, and it was just a wonderful experience. Probably more birds per hectare than anywhere in the world, and just to hear that cacophony of birds and to see things like a takahe and a kokako, you know, is fabulous, and the stitch bird. So these are things that opportunities 30 years ago you could not have gone there to see that. So New Zealand is in the midst of making some fabulous progress in these areas, and so the scientists are very upset to see what seems to be it's hard to imagine they're going to do that with a staff cut of 100 scientists.
And saying that, I guess, you know, we've had a recession like much of the world, and we've had a pretty dire situation in Christchurch. Do conservation efforts sometimes go on the back burner for 12 months, 18 months or so?
You know, it probably happens. I'm not in charge of those decisions. You know, I would hope that, you know, in hard times, all government efforts have to share the pain. But you know, species extinction is something that lasts forever. We can't afford to let go of our efforts for a period of time and pick them up later. There are some things that if say, one of these mainland areas that are now pest-free, if the fence goes down, it'll take you years to recover that. So you have to maintain a certain level of work.
This is a pretty big deal, this Congress, isn't it? That's here.
Yes.
There's a lot of you here. Tell me a little bit about what your main focus will be while you're here.
Our main focus really is sharing what we've learned. So this is a group of conservation professionals, mostly ecological type scientists, but also economists and social scientists. So we share what we've learned about the science of conserving biodiversity, the successes. So we've heard a lot about the successes here in New Zealand, things that haven't gone well, and how we can move forward. So that's our main reason to be here. And we also have a series of awards where we recognize each other for the work we've done.
I was reading through some of the notes, and it said that, you know, one of the concerns is that the human population globally is losing touch with the natural world. What do you mean by that?
Oh, it's sometimes called nature deficit disorder. There was a very influential book a few years ago called The Last Child in the Woods. So it's just that so many of our kids are interacting with the world in different ways through electronic games, and people are actually statistically on average spending less time in touch with nature. And it's often said that we only protect what we know, and so if people don't know about nature, it's very hard to build that political support to maintain it. And it's something we lose. It's part of our quality of life and how we define ourselves, as we define ourselves with respect to nature.
Just quickly, Paul, if there's one thing we can do, is it to get children, to get youth out and about in nature?
Well, and ourselves too. Yeah, I'd say the first thing to do is get out there and enjoy it. Go to one of the pest-free islands where we have native birds, and see them and appreciate what New Zealand once was and can be again.
All right, Paul Beier, very much appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.